Hey, what's up, guys? Mr. Surplus Nut here back. Bring the second part to this video on the final results of this project of my Wars 1063 going tactical. And I left off from the first part about the muzzle brake. Trying to figure out, and I've come to the conclusion that the reason I got this very nice group at the range when I took this weapon shooting was because the first thing, my trigger, the G2 trigger, being so light, and it's so light that it doesn't give you a chance for you to flinch on the hold and on the trigger squeeze, and also the combination with the muzzle brake, the AK-47 style muzzle brake. Great brake. It does not rock you back too much. It controls the muzzle rise and recoil very well. It stayed solid. I mean, I've heard on some reviews on this brake that on some AKs when you screw it on, it actually, even though after it stays completely secure, it fits, and the fit on it ends up being a little loose, but on mine it did not. It went on there real good. It's completely solid. I did put a little bit of Loctite, the red one, the one that you can always take off, and I put that on the threads, and then after putting that on the threads, I went ahead and I screwed it on there. Remember how these things are done, okay? We don't, when you put one on, you're not gonna tie it to your right like what we do here in the States, how we put a nut on a bolt that you tie to the right. On these, you tie to the left, it's backwards, and then you untie it to the right. So it went on there really good. Maybe those guys that have that loose fit might want to try a little bit of that Loctite on there, and little bit of the Loctite, that might do it. And if not, because it's Loctite, when you put it on there, it goes on as a real thin liquid and until it hardens up. If not, you can try some high temperature, little bit of silicone on the threads, and that will, when the silicone cures, make sure you get the high temperature one. It shouldn't have no play on it. There's like a little pin on top of the muzzle there. That's what keeps the muzzle brake in place. And I've read some reviews where that comes a little loose. Like, it makes you feel that if you push that little pin back and you were to turn a little bit the muzzle brake on your threads, on your muzzle end, you probably get like a little bit, almost a quarter of a turn more till it's nice and snug. If you go back to where the little pin's gonna come out on that aperture and hold it there, it will most likely, you might tend to have a loose fit. That wasn't the case for me. With a little bit of Loctite, I was able to, I guess you gotta be lucky when you get the muzzle brake from Tapco, the AK-74 style, I mean, on the threads, how they did it. I guess that where it ends up, you gotta be lucky that you have a snug fit. On this one, it's fine. It's really tight. I shot, I think, I went and shot with this gun, I think it was like 400 rounds. And this was yesterday. And I shot like, I think it was like 400 rounds. And today is November the 13th. This was on the 12th, so it was Friday night. And with the time change now, because it's November, now here like around 5 o'clock, it's already getting really dark. But the range that I go to, Trail Glades Range, it's really nice. They just remodeled the whole place. And they got these huge lights everywhere. I mean, this thing gets illuminated like a football field. It's awesome. So I was able to go there and I shot 400 rounds, I think it was. Yeah, 400 rounds. And I had no issues with the muzzle brake coming loose. You know, like right there where it locks with the little top pin. or anything else. So right now I just cover the part of the trigger with the combination of the muzzle brake, and you know, letting you guys know that's why I think I got these really nice groups. And I want to start showing you the groups real quick. The first one I'm going to show you is at 25 yards. Now remember, all these groups are 20 round groups. What I'm trying to say by that is that I got the Tapco magazine. I reloaded 20 rounds. Even though it's a 30 round magazine, I don't usually at the range load the whole 30 rounds. You know, because by the time you pass 20, your spring is compressed really tight, so you're gonna have a lot of pressure on there. So 20 rounds is enough to, like in one little session, to shoot 20 rounds out of a clip. So the groups I'm gonna show you are 20 round groups. I loaded 20 rounds on a 30 round magazine, and I shot the whole group, I shot the whole magazine with 20 rounds in it. So again, this is the first group at 25 yards. That's when I started. Let me, hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, I started. Actually, what I did, remember, the scope, I had to sight it in. So I'm not gonna show you the little board or the little paper with the groups I got when I was trying to sight the scope, because obviously you guys know if you go shooting that you know you're gonna be off a little bit to the left, like on 2 or 3 shots. Then you gotta walk your reticle over to those holes, and you're not gonna have a very accurate card to show your groups. I'm showing you the groups after my scope was already sighted, when it was right on, making sure it's not shifting on me, it's holding at 0, which it did, believe it or not. A little NC Star scope, which is like, I think, one of the cheapest scope. But like, again, I've had this scope on my AK-47, my SKS, and I've never had a problem with it. So I took it off my Jugo M59 SKS on that receiver cover that I had it mounted. I took it off of that. As you guys know, there's a receiver cover for the SKS that has the rails already built on top. So the way I had this little scope set up, I had it set up with the rings on that receiver cover. And when I would feel like shooting my SKS open sight, I would just swap receiver covers. So I took this off, that one receiver cover, and mounted it on the AK-47, and I went ahead and zeroed the scope, and these are the groups that I got, 20 round groups at 25 yards after the scope was 0. And I just want to show you guys up close so you guys can see. Those are the groups that I got from this AK, a wasr 1063 Romanian AK-47. This is the one, my AK Gone Tactical, right there. 25 yards, 20 shot group. A whole clip of 20 rounds. Okay? Alright, and let me show you also the stuff that I was shooting with. Okay, which also it might have something to do with it. Okay? This is the ammo. Brown Bear 7.62 by 39, 123 grain, full metal jacket, and it says that it's polymer coated cases. And I want to talk about a little bit about this, about the ammo, because I tried shooting or not shooting or loading on my clip the soft point and the hollow point, and believe it or not, I got a little bit of, at one point, it wouldn't want to feed it right. And I'm going to tell you why, because I was able to check those rounds after I ejected them from rocking the bolt, and I was able to find out more or less what went on with those. Okay, so this is the stuff I shot. Completely full metal jacket. Okay, Brown Bear 123 grain. It shot really, really nice. This is the groups, 25 yards, 20 shot groups at 25 yards. Look how close that is. I can tell you right now, I have seen AR-15s, 223 calibers, stock. Don't tell me, oh, well, because I know I've seen some that are really hooked up with like nice barrels and all that. No, a stock, tactical 223 AR-15, just with either a red dot, a little scope like that. And at 25 yards, 1575, which is the groups I'm going to show you, the paper that when I've walked by them to check my target and I've seen what they're doing, it looks like a strainer. So I don't know. Like I said in one on the last video, when I showed just the AK being finished with all the tactical components on it, like I told you guys, this thing's going to give the AR-15s a run for its money. And remember that the 223 round is supposed to be a more accurate round with less recoil than the 7.62 by 39. Actually, I call a 223 round a rabbit round, that's what it is. Nobody's going to argue with me. Remember, I am a reloader. So a 223 round is a varmint round. Okay, the grain, the most you're going to go up in grains on the bullet tip on those is 95 grains, 75, 65, 55. It's a little squirrel rounds. Okay, that's why guys get shot with those in Iraq at 100, 200 yards, and they keep up and they run and they get away. That's why you see platoons out there, and we're a 15-man platoon of soldiers in the Middle East. Like maybe 12 of them will have like AR-15s, and 3 of them will carry AK-47s, because it's a more of a stop, go down round, the 7.62. It's not as accurate, but to 100, 200 yards, it'll hit a man-sized target. I will argue that with anybody any day. Okay, the 223 squirrel rounds, guys get hit and they will get up and keep running. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about this, about the ammunition, and I'll show you the other targets that I have. It was unreal. I mean, all this 20 rounds, that looks like almost like a one raggedy hole. I've seen bolt action guns shoot worse than this at 100 yards. Even though this was 25 yards, I gotta give you that. But I've seen bolt action guns at 100 yards with a scope, Remington 700s, I mean, shoot worse than this. So when I come back, I'll show you guys the other targets and we'll go from there.